Hello, my name is Henry Simons, and I'm a legislative liaison for Caltrans Bay Area. And for the last 8 months, I've had the opportunity to work as a member of the Caltrans Bay Area Unsheltered Task Force. Today, I'm going to be talking about the innovative work the Caltrans Bay Area Unsheltered Task Force has been doing to track and manage all of our data around encampments in the Bay Area. So, as we all know, California faces a homelessness crisis. More than 150,000 Californians are homeless tonight, and many of those people are unsheltered throughout our state, and often those people end up on the most marginal land in the state, which is often Caltrans property. We also know that Caltrans faces extensive regulations on pretty much any topic, and unsheltered issues is no different. We have close rules we have to follow from Sacramento, and COVID-19 has also vastly increased the number of rules and regulations we have to follow to make sure unsheltered people are treated as safely as possible and make sure we're not exposing anybody who's unsheltered to COVID-19. Caltrans is also not in this fight alone. There's many agencies and nonprofit groups who are all concerned about the issue of homelessness, and we have to work incredibly closely with these other agencies to do any work around encampments. We have internal parts of Caltrans we have to work with. We have to report to Caltrans HQ in Sacramento. We have to work with the agencies that offer services to unsheltered people, local governments, and then our partners in fire and police departments and highway patrol. We also know that there's a big lack of trust around encampment issues and Caltrans. We all know about the Caltrans shuffle, where people used to get just moved very frequently on Caltrans property. And although this is not happening anymore, we still have a lot of trust to build back with homeless advocates and partners at social services agencies. So the solution to this is the Caltrans Bay Area Unsheltered Task Force. What we're doing on the Unsheltered Task Force is making sure essential work happens, helping make sure unsheltered people get access to services, and most importantly, making sure Caltrans is following the incredibly complex set of rules and regulations we have to follow. And of course, overall, the point here is to make sure unsheltered people are treated with much dignity and respect and predictability as possible. They're some of the most vulnerable Californians, and they deserve to be treated well. So the first part of our solution is to focus on relationships. This is a photo of Caltrans Director Oma Shakin and Caltrans Bay Area Unsheltered Task Force lead Deborah Nelson touring a community cabin site in the city of Oakland, which is on Caltrans property. We have to work incredibly closely with our partners at all these different agencies and also focus on improving these relationships over time. We often have to move really quickly, and we're managing many different encampments at any one time. So the more we can have good relationships with other agencies, the better our work is going to go. Another solution is to really incredibly closely track everything that's happening in the encampments throughout the Bay Area. So in order to get on top of this problem, Caltrans Bay Area Unsheltered Task Force has created what we call our Next Steps document. This is a document that I manage and that gets sent out every single morning to Caltrans stakeholders who are working on this issue, and weekly to our allies and partners in other agencies. I just want to highlight a couple of columns that are incredibly important to our work here. We have the encampment location, which is vital to make sure we're on the same page about the location we're concerned about. We have why we're concerned about this area, either safety or construction, whether it's a cleanup or a removal, because that involves different rules, how involved CHP is involved in the process, how they've been notified, and then whether outreach has been provided, the 72-hour post date, and the removal, relocation, or cleanup date. And then finally, the next step column, which is what we use to figure out what is the next thing Caltrans Bay Area has to do to keep moving, whether it's a cleanup or a relocation or something else. Normally there are, I'd say, 20 to 40 rows on the spreadsheet, and it gets updated every single day. So now I'd just like to talk about a couple of the lessons that Caltrans Bay Area Unsheltered Task Force has learned since we've implemented this next steps document. One is this is a full-time job for several people. My colleague Deborah Nelson is on this full-time, and she's in charge of all the different moving parts that we have to work together with, and then I'm in charge of sweating the details and making sure that we are really following the rules and have the best possible information about what's going on at any one encampment. I think another lesson here is just to bring humility and compassion. We're dealing with some of the most underserved Californians who live really difficult lives, and it's our responsibility to make sure we're treating them well every single day, and also we don't understand what their lives are like, and we always have to be working to learn more about how to better serve them. We also know to expect the unexpected. Back in March, I hadn't thought that wildfire risk at encampments was going to be one of the biggest challenges we face, and now every single day we're thinking about wildfire risk at different encampments. So get ready for things to change all the time. And I think finally, always focus on building these relationships. Homelessness in California isn't going to go away in a year. It's not going to go away in 5 years, maybe in 10 years. So we're going to be working with our partners at different agencies for a long time. And the more we can strengthen those relationships, the better. Thanks so much for listening to this presentation. I'd love to talk to anybody in the state about what the work Caltrans Bay Area is doing on this issue and to hear how you're handling it. It's been a really great resource for us, and I think it could benefit other parts of the state as well. Thank you.